Hi, it's Jnwynn with Scraptastic Yarns Podcast. Today is March the 19th, and it's a Tuesday. Life's a little crazy here for me this week. It's a real busy week. I've been having some more issues with the arm. However, I have a appointment to see the orthopedic doctor again. And then we're going to definitely decide on what we're going to do with that arm. Yesterday it was hurting so bad I was ready for him to just chop it off. But, comes and goes. I wanted to tell you I got my last Jimmy Beans wool. And sorry for the crinkle. This time there are 12 of these small little sheepies, and it came with an extra gift. Come on, get out of there. It came with an extra gift, which was this cute little bag. And inside the bag it had a gauge, needle gauge. It had some lovely hand lotion, the soak, and of course a needle for weaving in your ends. Now, apparently, my white privilege didn't pay off for me because other people got lip balm. Which, that's fine. I don't care for lip balm, especially the ones everybody was getting, which was peppermint. But I got a stitch marker. No lip balm, stitch marker. Now, I joke about the white privilege. I know some people might be offended by that. But really, folks, chill. I had an issue of startitis. And I will get to that in a moment. But some of the things I did get finished. Did get another baby hat finished. And then I got 4 of the second block of the Scraptastic cowl that Sarah Satch is doing. Didn't get the last one, the most recent one. I've gotten the sedge stitch block done, and this was done in Red Heart Soft Iced Aqua, and it's a nice little stitch. It's got some texture. As you can see, I'm not getting, when my blocks are finished, even with one round of single crochet, mine vary, even though I'm using the same hook. Really doesn't matter if I use the same yarn. So with this one, it said singles, and I was like, nope, not gonna do it. So I did a single, half double, single, double, half double, and it got it up to what my original blocks were, which were 12.5 inches. So this one I added, this is the latest one, block number 5. Had nose itch, sorry about that. This is called the double crochet stitch, double stitch, something. Very neat the way that you do it, and I really like this one. I can see blankets and some shawls done with these. Now you'll notice that little bit of yarn chicken here. Okay, it's a stash busting cow. I used all of this up until I got to there, and I had to add a purple. Busting the stash. I ran out of, now we're going to get to some whips. Works in progress. This is my persuasion shawl that I'm working on. I had run out of the Endless Sky, which is what I'm choosing to do it in. Was the one of the knit crates. Although I had enough, I thought, to do it completely, I did not. And this is Lori Lulu's shawl that she has testers out doing. I haven't shown it completely to you because it's not finished. I know Lori yesterday had talked about the testers and the comments she was getting. Lori, this is for you, dear. When we send our projects out for others to test, we don't always get what we think are nice comments. Although when testers do this, most of the time, when we're sending back feedback or something we're trying to tell you, there's a reason we do that. Basically, it's because this is confusing to me, so it may be confusing to others. You know, you might want to consider adding this in. It is hard to give constructive criticism online through email so that people don't take it, because you can take it the wrong way when you read it by email. We put emotion in the email when many times there should be no emotion in the email that we're reading. We're not trying to hurt your feelings. We want this pattern to be as spectacular as it is, so that when others do it, they have no issues. Okay? So take that with a grain of salt when people, give their feedback. That's basically all that is it's a generalization. Hold on, I'm going to come back in just a second. I have to get something that fell on the ground that I need. Okay, I'm back. Had a little crazy. Had to pick something up. I hope that you folks have watched Llama Mama Kayla's video where she makes the person, the stuffy, with the knitting machine. And one of the reasons I'm going to tell you that is because when she was doing it, she made an example of that you need to stretch the item. And I'm going to show you something about that. I had initially decided to play with some of my scrap yarns because I was curious as to whether this small loom, I think this is the one you make newborn hats on. Don't quote me. Maybe the preemie hats. But I was wanting to see if this would make a comfort doll using one strand of yarn. And I had watched Kayla's video, and I thought, if I did an inner and an outer, I think it would work. Mainly because I don't like the way that when the hats come off the loom, they're a little stretched out like this. You can see how the stitches are separate and they're kind of twisted. This was done with I did a flat U-stitch. But basically I was just trying to see, what it would do if I could use it. And I remembered something that I was taught a long time ago. And, you forget these things when you take a hat off the loom. But basically what it was is that you need to stretch your hat out. And when you stretch that out, I think you can see how the stitches fall into line. They're a little closer. Don't look at my weave in. That was a mess. And I thought, that'll work fine for a comfort doll. So I can do an inner, and then I'll do the outer. And this one will be fine for holding the stuffing in. And then the outer can go on the outside like Kayla did with the doll. But we forget when we are not used to using the looms a lot that you do need to stretch that item out so those stitches fall in line. And yes, then you can stretch it back into the shape that you want it. But just wanted, to show you that. So you can see what this loom is capable of. It's the smallest of the nifty knitters. And I was going to show you all those things, that I had started. I have started for my locale. This is, and I am using a bigger hook because I want it to be a little light and open. I am starting a shawl with Laurel's springtime shawl from the Dabbling Hook. It's not too expensive. I don't remember if it's $4 or $5, but it's a pretty, nice little price. Doesn't break the bank. So, and it's real easy, simple. It's a fantastic way to use it up. But I'm doing that for one of the locale items that I plan on entering. And this is the second item I plan on. I have been trying to decide if I wanted to do this or not. I have decided I am going to do it. And now it's your turn to guess what it's going to be when it's finished. Next week it'll be finished, and I'll be more than happy to show you what the finished item is. Take a guess. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to show you? Yes, there was something else I wanted to show you. This is an item that one of my friends has done. It is not something I have done. It is what she has done. And it is basically taking the Easter eggs. And I think she said she chained 170 with the cotton yarn. And then you just glue it onto the egg. And you have a nice little grouping of eggs that you can set in a bowl for a nice little display. I just thought they were adorable. So I thought I would mention those. And that's my friend Vicki, Miss Vicki Cross. Hi, Vicki. That is an object that her and her husband did. Her husband actually glued them on for her. She made the chains, he glued them onto the eggs. And let's see, acquisitions. I already showed you the Jimmy Beans. And Miss Carla May sent St. Patty's Day card. And I know you've seen these with the other folks. So I'm not going to repeat it all. But then she also sent stitch markers. This one got a little pulled. Yeah, I'll fix that in a minute. But that is a okay, go the right way, Jane. Shamrock. And then, of course, some Celtic knotwork. Absolutely adorable. Thank you, Carla. And, of course, she has a nice little note in there. Every third Tuesday, normally third Tuesday, sometimes it gets changed because of Bernina Academy, Bernina University, some tent sale, some fantastic sale that Bernina's going to have. Sometimes we get moved to a different Tuesday, but normally every third Tuesday I go over to Hoover's Bernina in Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania, where I do an embroidery project with my sewing machine. I don't have to take my sewing machine. They always have one that they set up for you. And even if I had to bring my own machine, there are some nice big burly Mennonite Amish guys there. They're mostly Mennonite, but occasionally there is an Amish guy working in the back. They're more than willing to bring them in. Of course, Leon's daughter, we've watched her carry two of those real big 880s in. Those are heavy machines. I think they weigh 30 pounds each. She just, when you're raised on a farm, you got muscles. Anyway, the lady that has the class many times will bring us yarn. Generally there are leftover balls, those kind of things, or something that she may have gotten at a estate sale, because she knows that we use them for prayer shawl group. So she'll bring those over, bring her scraps in, for us to use for prayer shawl. Well, me mostly. But I had made mention, I've never used the Super Saver Fair Isle. She said that she was over at an AC Moore, and they had these marked down to 2 something clearance. So she grabbed 2 of them, one for her, one for me to try, and this one is called Candy Fair Isle Bon Bon Dolce. I don't know if you can get a bigger name or not. That may be why they're discontinued. The name's too big. That is it for anything that I have got done. But now, it's time for What in Tarnation? I'm going to get a sip. My throat's acting up today. The strawberry guava is not all that delicious. But I opened it up and I hate to waste it. Taco Bell hot sauce saves another life. A few weeks ago, we were shocked to hear that a man survived for 5 days stranded in the snow by eating nothing but Taco Bell hot sauce packets, which resulted in his getting Taco Bell free for 1 year. This started us on a path to thinking that Taco Bell hot sauce was magical. And now, in light of another hot sauce life-saving measure, we think we may be onto something. In Florida, a man was sitting down at Taco Bell in Winter Haven when he decided to get up from his seat to procure more hot sauce. Mere seconds later, an elderly man crashed through the front of the Taco Bell with his car, hitting the table where the hot sauce retrieving customer had been sitting just moments before. WTSP in Tampa reports police said a customer who was in the restaurant where the car crashed into the building had just left that area to get hot sauce. The driver of the SUV was a 77-year-old man who thought the vehicle was in reverse when he hit the accelerator and it was in drive instead. Although the building had significant damage, police said that no one was hurt, and we all know who or what to thank for that, don't we? Taco Bell hot sauce. Some of us would just say, praise God. Now this next story happens in Miami. It's spring break in Miami and fists are flying. A shocking video has emerged on social media over the weekend showing a colossal brawl involving dozens of scantily clad women in South Beach. The cell phone recording, which was uploaded to the video sharing site flyheight.com on Sunday, shows young women dressed in swimsuits and brightly colored beach cover-ups mercilessly pummeling one another in the middle of the road. A row of vehicles, including a party bus, repeatedly honk for the brawlers to disperse, but they pay little attention to the din as they continue to wallop one another. Multiple young men seen milling about between the brawling women with their cell phones out appear to do next to nothing to try and stop the violence. In the video, a woman dressed in orange, one-piece bathing suit pins another woman dressed in white to the ground, and the two become locked in a furious, hair-pulling tug-of-war. Let me tell you, weaves and wigs were flying. A man's voice is heard urging others to get them up, while another responds with, "Let them fight." I wonder if the one that was yelling, "Let them fight," was filming. A third male voice is heard warning the pugilists that they will be all going to jail. Not heeding the warning, the women continue tearing at one another. Then two female bystanders try to step in and pull the brawlers apart, only to get into a separate fight themselves. One of these women, dressed in a neon cutout swimsuit, repeatedly has her breast exposed while exchanging blows with multiple other women during the chaotic melee. Others soon join in on the action, ignoring repeated calls from male observers to chill out and break it up. The video ends with a tangle of partially clad bodies writhing on the ground in the middle of the roadway. It's unclear from the video what may have sparked the fisticuffs, whether police were ultimately called to the scene. With large crowds of spring break revelers flocking to Miami, there have been multiple reports of fights over the weekend. I wonder if alcohol and a little ganja was involved. In one case, a man was caught on video punching a woman out cold on the beach. In another, a huge fight broke up on the beach off Ocean Drive, with a gaggle of young men beating each other up and knocking down an umbrella in the process. Local police have been out in force, trying to keep the rowdy tourists in check, even deploying a blimp to do flyovers over the popular gathering spots. Sorry. People fighting in the streets. It's just ridiculous. Now, this is a feel-good story, and I'll tell you why it's a feel-good story. I have a friend who quite often, not necessarily every year, but probably every other year, he will adopt a horse and a burro. And the federal government offers up to $1,000 to anyone adopting a wild horse or burro. It helps keep these animals from starving to death. It also helps you cut the cost for the Bureau of Land Management, who tries to maintain feeding and the upkeep for the animals, because they're really overpopulating the wild areas. So what they try to do is, it's pretty hard on the public rangelands, so they offer this for people to adopt a wild horse or burro so that they can take the upkeep, and then you can keep the animal on your range, so the animal's pretty happy. But I just think that's a good cause. So if you're in the market for adopting a wild animal, go for it. The horses are beautiful, keeps them from starving to death, from overpopulating and over using the public rangelands where they are kept. So, if you have the space, do it. Go for it. I did want to tell you my son had his operation, and praise God, everything went fine. He did manage to get his colon resected with an end-to-end, which means he doesn't have a colostomy bag. And I'm really grateful for that, because I don't think he could. I think a colostomy bag would have done this kid in. I don't think he would manage it well. Although, sometimes he surprises me. It's just I don't think that he would handle it well, and then having to go back in to have that resected again a second time. So, thank you for all the prayers, those of you that said them for my son. I really appreciate it. And, yeah. I'm going to end with, remember to love one another. If you're in Miami, stay clear of the brawls. And if you're loving one another, you probably won't be in a brawl. And choose to be kind. Remember, we're all in this together. I'll see you again next week. If you have a guess as to what my other project is with the brown, put it out there. We'll see what it is next week. Everybody have a great week. Bye.